You're listening to an FTCR podcast, you boob.
Hello everybody, I am FTA,
I'm T-Bay.
and welcome to the first episode of the Patreon exclusive podcast,
Turkey Dazzle Yes Friend.
You unlock this is your fault.
Yeah.
Essentially. This first episode is actually going out, so normally this podcast is for everyone who is from the $5 or more tier on Patreon. As I think a lot of certain Patreon exclusive shows start, this episode is going out to everyone. We're going to put it on the YouTube. Everyone on Patreon is going to get to it, just so you can see how bad it is and take knowledge in the fact that you aren't wasting your money to hear this. So yeah, please go to our Patreon and give us money. So what this
You become nothing more than just a puppet.
I don't say like, comment, and subscribe. So I
You
pride
just
myself
did.
on that. Not really. Please like, comment, and subscribe. But
May I like, comment, and subscribe? No.
what this podcast is going to be, this is going to be a weekly thing. I'm going to estimate the length of time will probably just be between about 30 minutes to an hour type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the basic idea of this is to give you guys a more direct, up-to-date feedback of what's going on with FTCR, things we're doing, things we're planning, behind-the-scenes type of things. Because I know we do the weekly update blog on Patreon, where we'll say what we've done this week and things we're trying to do. But this is slightly more personal. We'll also be answering questions. I just put the request out like 1 a.m. today, so we don't have that many questions. I think next time we'll try and go a bit
prime time hours.
a bit earlier. Yeah. But yeah, so I think
I'm sure everybody in England was just like, I'm awake.
So at this point, we are recording this on March 31st. So by the time this has gone up, it took way longer than I expected it to, and it is probably the most common recurring question we've received since June. But by the time you're listening to this, the Great Rise of Lyric Busters 06 debate is on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
It took me a bit longer. By a bit, I mean far too long to get it recorded.
Nearly a year.
Almost a year, yep. Which is still, for me, that's pretty quick compared to some other projects.
True.
But yeah, so I'm glad that's up and running. I hope people enjoyed the April Fool's gag. I'm dealing with that. I don't expect it to fool anyone. I don't expect it to fool many people.
Yeah.
On that. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. In terms of conventions for this year, for FTCR as a whole, we are planning to go back to Too Many Games. We've applied for panels. Same like with last year. We've applied for a debate and a FTCR panel. I think Smart Money says we'll most likely get the debate, but not the FTCR panel. And that might be if we don't get the FTCR panel. Well, last year we didn't get it because we were quote unquote not Sonic enough, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But this year, if we don't get it, it's going to be because the description I put for our panel is terrible.
Yes, it is.
I want to get this because I wrote this. We were doing a Discord. We were in the Patreon exclusive Discord, which people who aren't in Patreon will be don't get to go in. Hence the name. So if you listen to this, and you want to be in the Patreon and Discord and have because I tend to go in there a lot more than I did the old Discord. I would go weeks without going into Discord previously.
Wait, is it the same server, or do we have a
same server? We have a
Patreon only chat room.
We have a little section. We have like a few chat rooms and a few voice calls.
Okay.
Things. But it's all in the. As soon as you donate, even at the $1 level, you get access to the Patreon. I think every tier gets you access to the Patreon, except the $10,000 tier.
Discord.
Get you access to the Discord, except for the $10,000 Patreon tier, because as the image says, you get nothing for that.
True.
Because if you're that dumb to give us that much money, you don't deserve anything on the board. But nope, nothing at all. So yeah, I try to go in there as often as I can, because if you guys are giving us money for that, the bare minimum I can do is pop into Discord and just say shut up, Rune, at least once a day. But it's fine. He doesn't listen to any of our content, so he won't even hear this. It's fine. So yeah, we applied for the panel, and I hope we get the FTCR panel, just because of the name we gave it. So I've said before, my proudest moment of FTCR is the name, the Superpower Flower Hour.
Oh, okay.
I'm very proud of that name, and maybe some point, maybe like the Hotcast, that one day I'll preempt that and do something else with that name, because I like it quite a bit. So if we get this panel, the name of it is the FTCR Super Panel Flannel Channel. And I'm happy with that.
God damn it.
I'm happy with that. For the description, I put, so when you apply for a panel with too many games, they ask for like a brief description and a slightly longer description to go on the website. Mm-hmm. The brief description, I think it was something like here it is, an FTCR panel where FTCR talks about all things FTCR. That was the short one. The longer version, it was just the same thing, but after the first FTCR, I put an asterisk. I put an asterisk, may not contain FTCR. So I thought, at 2 a.m, I thought that was funny, but like it doesn't explain a lick of anything.
You should not legally be allowed on the computer after midnight, because
that's when I get my best work done.
Do you remember?
You don't come up with Super Panel Final Channel at 9 p.m. TJ.
Do you remember when you applied for the dumb anime panel?
I knew he did.
Drunk at 1 a.m. You're like, Chris says we could do an anime panel. So you went to the computer and you were just like, I'm me and TJ.
Must have been 3 of us, remember?
Oh yeah.
The point was, from the outside looking in, it was meant to be. You were like, it was meant to be like an experience. The premise of the first, from the outside looking in, was meant to be we have an experienced anime lover, that was you.
Uh-huh.
A kind of casual anime fan, which was Chris.
Uh-huh.
And someone who doesn't care about anime, which was me.
Yeah. But
then that was dropped, and it was just because, hey, here's some anime we like, I guess. Okay, bye.
Sonic the movie.
And then I can't believe we ended the last 10 minutes by watching you.
Yes. And then we also wasted 2 minutes with me singing the One Piece rap. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna. Yayo,
demon. So we're hoping to get that. We also requested for the debate. I'm not gonna say what it is, because this one is going out to everyone. People on the Discord know what our plan is for this year. Mm-hmm. Because it's going out on the YouTube, I'm not gonna say just yet what the debate idea is. I think most people might be able to guess what it's likely to be.
Chorus versus Rush Adventure.
I think I just fucking ruined it. I just destroyed the audio doing that. But so we're hoping to hear back. I'm not sure when. For the debate, we requested a bigger panel room.
Panel room 1.
A bigger one. I don't say this with any type of arrogance or ego. If we got the numbers we got last year, we maybe not full, but we'd fill up. Like, I'm saying. So we've been over this, and again, this isn't. I don't want this to turn into a they don't give us the room, but for year one, I get it. I completely understand.
Oh yeah.
In the first year, the exception of Johnny, no one knows who the fuck we are.
Yeah.
No one should care who. I get it. Put us in a small room. Completely. I get it.
Yeah.
But like the first year, we turned away a good chunk of people.
Yeah.
The first year, and then so I had spoken with somebody who worked at Too Many Games, who said that apparently they had taken notice of like how popular I guess our panel was. Even we were surprised.
Well, yeah, because there was traffic in a small hallway that needed to be corralled.
And the worst is like for the '06 lyric debate, which again I put it in the video. I showed the entire. We turned away more people than fit in that room.
Yeah.
So it's like if I'm almost tempted to be like, if we don't get panel room 3, we just don't do it. Maybe if we're stuck in panel room 3 again,
yeah,
might just be like no thanks, because
I mean it's just
not to be. I don't want to come across as a prima donna, but I don't like it's
you don't like turning away people.
It
I
sucks
understand.
because we get. I've had people come up. Have told me they try to get in both years.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it comes up on YouTube eventually, but there is. Well, I think the first one I got on pretty quickly.
I think so. Yeah.
But it's not the same as being in the room. Like when I almost decapitated Becca. It's almost not the same as being in the room.
That was
bad.
That was bad. You almost killed someone.
I think I almost took out Joey and happy birthday, motherfucker.
Obviously at this point, if you're listening to this, you were eligible to already watch the debate. And
I gotta put that up. Put it up.
At one point, Kurtz just smacks the game and it flies into the audience and injures people.
I think you almost hit Becca in the head.
Yeah, but I think you did hit Joey.
Yeah, it's fine.
Happy birthday, Joey!
Happy birthday, motherfucker!
I never actually told Joey happy birthday on his actual birthday.
Me neither. we say to him every other day. He doesn't need it on that day. His birthday's every day, that piece of shit. We love you, Joe. Happy birthday. But yeah, so we're hoping to do those panels. GJ and I and Jono, Sonic says, remember, we plan to go to HeroesCon.
Which will predominantly feature most of our time being in
at the Archie booth, annoying Ian Flynn.
No, IDW booth.
Annoying Ian Flynn, probably like last year. I'm not sure if we'll do anything with that.
I feel like it's going to be a lot more successful with you there this year, because Jonathan and I.
People actually say, because I'll actually say something.
Jonathan and I are too nervous.
I was like, that's that same thing. It's like when we went to Terrible Anime Con.
Yeah.
I couldn't leave you idiots alone for 30 seconds.
Nope.
So I think we've told the story elsewhere, but what's it called again?
Tsubasa. No, Yumacon.
Yumacon in Detroit. We went up there 2 years ago, I think. Was it 2016?
Yeah, it was Halloween 2016.
So we go up there because Crush 40 were going to play there. And so, I love Crush 40, one of my favorite bands. I think at that point, I was the only one who had seen him out of us, because I'd seen him at... No, had Chris seen him?
Possibly.
Yeah, Chris, I guess Chris...
New York, right?
No, St. Louis. That's when me and Chris first met in real life. Yeah, so Chris had seen him. I'd seen him a bunch of various Summer Sonics and things like that over the years. And so...
fancy English pants.
Yeah. So we went... You mean trousers, like a match. So we went to go see him, and so we're waiting outside their room where they were performing. They were testing and shit. And June went out, and so we tried to say hello, but we went off too quickly.
Yeah. And
so I waited for him to come back, but I have the bladder of a 4-year-old. I have to pee constantly. Road trips are the worst for me. I got to pee once an hour, and so I leave for a second, and when I come back, it was TJ, Chris, Jonathan, and Twix Mix,
and Stefan.
Was he there?
Yes.
Was he there at that point?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought so.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we met him until the contest started.
Oh, okay.
I think at that point I don't think Stefan was there just yet.
Gotcha. And
so I come back, and the four of them are looking very sheepishly, and I'm like, "What happened?" And June came back, and he went in there. I was like, "Did you say anything to him?" And all four of them just like, "No."
All right, let me tell you from my perspective. Okay.
You're a bunch of wimps.
Let me tell you from my perspective. So we're standing there. And I am being vigilant, as is Jonathan. And June comes walking towards us. And obviously, I've never met June before. I mean, neither has Chris, but Chris is more familiar with his work than I am. Oh, he's met him?
We got backstage at Sonic Boom 2013.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah. Anywho, so I elbow Chris, and I was like, right there. And Chris goes, yeah.
You can't, TJ, you can't allow Chris for something like that. That's not his strength.
That's true. I I don't know what it was.
That's your fuck up, not Chris.
No, it's not. What am I gonna say? I used to air guitar in my underwear to open your heart.
And by used to, I meant this morning.
This morning.
And so we didn't get in. Way to go.
Oops.
My favorite thing about that, though, is, and it's something that to this day, I mean, there are certain points where I never put too much stock in like things I've done or things I've accomplished. But there are a few times where I'll kind of take a metaphorical step back and look at things that I've done, and it's like that's pretty sweet. But two big things is that, so we went to the Crush 40. We went to the June signing because Twix Mix fucked up and sent us to the wrong. We switched buildings.
Oh yeah.
She's like, they're in over there, memes, and we went over there and they weren't there.
Yeah.
They were 2 feet from where we fucking started off.
That's
I was
true.
mad.
Yeah, we still made it.
No, we missed the signing because their concert wasn't until later. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
Because
Okay.
Johnny left that night. He left like he wasn't at the second signing.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so when we were at the signing, I'm dressed as Mega Man. And it is one of my favorite pictures ever. It's just me and June doing a fist bump, but I'm dressed as Mega Man, and June has this massive smile on his face, which for me is good because like I love June. He's a great guy, but if you look at pictures of him with fans, very stoic.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure if that's just the Japanese in him to be like very, but he very rarely shows emotions in pictures. But I get a big old smile. Like when I saw him, his first words out of his mouth were, FTCR. I was like, holy shit, that's amazing. Yes. And he said, without even asking him, because I brought it's at that point, it's almost like I'm running out of things for him to sign, because I have so many CDs and shit signed by him, so I brought my cover of Sonic Heroes to sign, because, it's a great soundtrack, and that plays into the story, but without even asking him to, he wrote to FTCR, like, the June Tsunoya, and we're talking about the game, and I think it's because in England, the cover of Sonic Heroes, the logo is shiny, kind of like how Sonic Colors is in America. So he's like, I didn't know. He's impressed by the like how different the holographic cover. And I was like, yeah, but it's a terrible game. And June kind of laughed, but the music's good. I was like, you are correct, good sir. The music is indeed good. Yes. And the other one, I'm not sure if I think we've talked before, but Mike Pollock at one point was in my living room. We were eating ice cream and watching Ratatouille. That is like one of my all-time favorite memories I will ever have. Is just Eggman. I know he's done far more, and he'll be the first to point that he's done far more. But just like Eggman was in my house, and we were eating ice cream, watching Ratatouille, and he showed us that Katy Perry pop chips where he voiced Fat Cat. Remember that?
I wasn't there for that.
You weren't there for that?
No.
Get fucked, TJ.
That was like right before I started hanging out with you.
I think it was Chris and Jonathan, maybe Bobby, were there for that. That was good. Yeah.
But I was there. You can couple the June moment with the pictures of you and oh crap, what's his name? Duke Nukem.
Oh, John St. John?
Yeah, John St. John.
That's a fun story because he was late.
Yeah.
Because the signing was Sunday. So was it just we shot on Saturday, didn't we? Or did we go Friday as well?
I think we only went
Saturday to Sunday.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Either way, but
yeah,
the signing was it's supposed to be at 11 or noon on the Sunday. So we were gonna go get some stuff signed because Lisa Ortiz was signing. Amy Rose in the 4Kids cast, who I gotta go back and tell. I'll put a pin in that for a second.
Boop.
So no, it was Friday to Sunday because Friday was the Crush 40 sign-in and the concert.
Okay.
Saturday was supposed to be the big Sonic panel.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be June. It was supposed to be Johnny and June from Crush 40. Lisa Ortiz.
Yep.
John St. John. And I think Ken Pontiac. One of the writing duo from Sonic Colors, Generations, Lost World, and all that.
Yeah.
I guess whoever plans things for Yumacon is terrible at their job.
Yeah.
Because June had no idea about any of these panels. Johnny flew home Saturday because he's a busy man. So I guess he just flew out for the concert. He flew home like Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And it's weird because they like the convention approved all the because they paid for his tickets, so they booked all his flights. So like if you hadn't planned for these panels, like why would you book this mess? Yeah. John St. John, I believe, was booked in another panel at that time. So I think he had like a Duke panel. I think Ken Pondak just had to cancel it last. I think he was sick or something that week because he wasn't there. So the panel is just Jun Sonoy and Lisa Ortiz dressed as She-Ra.
Yeah.
And it was, I love that woman. She's amazing. And I don't want to tell tales out of school, but we were all under the impression she was drunk and or high.
She was acting like she was under the influence of something. Because she was definitely very, very, very happy to be there.
Animated, and then during the signing the next day, big sunglasses, big cup of coffee, acting very hungover on the Sunday. But again, she was a lot of fun. Like I love Lisa Ortiz; she's great. I think she was a good actress, and you know, very, very handsome woman.
So, I want you to sit back for a second, and I'm sure you already realize this, but I'm not sure if you do. Do you realize that we met David the Lurker that weekend because Jonathan was dressed like Ken Penders?
Yeah. We'll get to that. But in this panel, but so because obviously it's supposed to be a big thing, but there's just two people who do very different things, and I think because June has, no disrespect to these authors, but June's obviously done far more for this franchise. He's been with it longer.
Yeah,
he's a bigger part of it. Than so most of the questions were directed at him.
Yeah,
and the best thing about June was, and this is something me and Chris will say to each other.
Oh, brilliant!
It's that he would like someone would ask him a question. Someone would ask him a question. He would answer it. There'd be a little pause. That is my answer. That's how he would end him. It was like, mwah, it was beautiful.
That was the other thing about when we were talking about disorganization at the convention. That was another thing. So the panel started. Obviously, English is June's second language. He does speak it well, but it's his second language. So they had this guy who June was under the impression was going to be his interpreter, and the guy just like went back into the audience, and he was just kind of just like, "Hello."
I remember that.
You don't remember that? Some guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and he like came up and he like, obviously he had something to do with the convention because he like introduced them, and then he like he like left the stage. He's just like leaving them to their own devices, and I think June like shot him a look, and the guy was just like, "Oh yes, I have to interpret for June."
But yeah, so that panel was, and then that's where we met David T. Lurker because Jonathan was dressed as Ken Penders, TJ was Jughead, I was Mega Man. That's where we took the infamous pictures that originally got us banned by Archie Comics on Twitter.
I forgot that Saturday.
That was so much fun, man.
That was magical.
That was so much fun.
So we're at the signing. I'm dressed as Jughead with a shirt that says
I killed Mega Man.
I killed Mega Man and boom. And a sad face. And Jonathan was dressed like Penders, and you were dressed like Mega Man. And there was
there's a picture where I'm putting the Mega Blaster to my head crying, and you're next to me.
And I'm pointing at you, like, telling you to do it.
And then there's one where you and me are both flipping off Penders.
Yeah.
I think the caption I put for that one was, Mega Man and Jughead settle their differences over their mutual dislike of Ken Penders or something like that.
So we posted those pictures to Twitter.
And we tagged them.
We tagged Archie Comics. We went through the signing. We went through June Sonoy's line. Then we went through John St. John's line. And
the signing wasn't. That signing was Sunday.
Then why were we
no,
just
no, I'm sorry. June's signing was Saturday. John St. John and Lisa Ortiz was Sunday. Yeah, so we did June's because I was just as Mega Man. And after that, I switched it. Yeah.
So we did a June signing, and then we left. We walked down the street to the concession area. We were getting lunch, and then I opened up my Twitter, and I'm like looking through it, and then I go to Archie Comics, and it says blocked, and I was like, dude, I'm blocked by Archie Comics. And Gareth was just like, oh my god, and then he looked on his phone and just goes, oh my god, so am I.
And Jonathan was real nervous.
Jonathan was so nervous.
Jonathan was so nervous of being blocked by Archie.
He didn't want it. He was like, they know that I'm friends with you.
It's fine, we were blocked. We went outside. We enjoyed our block. Everything was fine. But yeah, so go on. And then at some point, because that Mega Man costume was hot, so like I went to go change it. I forget the name. I think I linked it on our Facebook years ago. There was some random cosplay video on YouTube where I'm in it as Mega Man, and I pretend to do the Mega Buster, and the guy put in like special effects.
Yes, I remember that.
I forget what it is. I think Miss Dragon Ball Z Babe actually does with everything in life. She made a GIF of it, so somewhere there's a. But I was like, "Can I put you in my video?" I was like, "Okay, if you guess."
Sure.
I just stood there and I was like, I put my hand out and I put it up. And I think my face either looks bored or confused. The entire time, yeah, okay.
I'm gonna see if I can find this right now.
But
while we're talking.
Yeah. So then to go back to the sign, and so John St. John was late.
Yeah.
He was late by quite a bit actually, and I think because I was driving home and I wanted to get home. I think at that point, it's 2016. Was Ben born at that point?
No.
No? Well, then it must have been 2015 then.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah. So, I wanted to get home to my pregnant wife, I think, at that point. I think Katie must have been pregnant at that point. So I wanted to get home. And so, John St. John, I want to say, was a good 45 minutes late. Like, he was quite late. And so I'm getting annoyed. Like, I want to go. Like, come on, let's go. And I remember at that point, you were like, well, you're supposed to like stop complaining. Like, what's up? And then, if you remember, the day before, after the panel, we were talking to David DeLuca for like an hour, just standing in the convention hall, and you were getting frustrated.
Oh, okay. So
I was like, you fucking did it. Like,
that's true. Yeah. So to give context to this, so we meet up with David. We talked while we waited outside for the Sonic panel, the one that we were just talking about. Went to the Sonic panel with him, and then we were walking. We essentially got to the point of
the elevator, I think.
Well, the elevator where it would be David had to go to his car, and we would have to go to our car. Mm-hmm. So, a total of 5 times you invited him to come and get dinner with us, so we could continue talking. And he would say, I don't know. And then he would go back into the conversation. And then like 20 minutes later, you would be like, hey, why don't you just grab dinner with us? And he'd be like, I don't know. And then he would continue the conversation. So after this happening twice, my brain was just like, you need to get out of here.
No, we were gonna record a Says that night.
Yeah.
But instead, David came over. And he was explaining the fan fiction of David Gunterman, I think.
Yes.
That was a fucking wild ride.
That was wow.
Yeah, and so anyway, John St. John.
I found it.
Oh, I think I found it. I'm gonna have That's not me.
That's not you.
That's not me. This is gonna be terrible for people listening. There I am. Oh my god, that's horrible. That's horrible. Send me that link. I'll try and put it on. I'll try and do something with that.
Hold on, I'll just
give it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's a bit late, and so I'm a bit like, I'm like, come on, but he is so charming, and so funny.
God, yes.
He's like worth it. Like, it like not to put down anyone else, but like he was so funny and so like great to speak with that that I was just like, that's it's fine. We had this. So my favorite pictures I've ever taken with someone. We have this set of pictures where it's like he's grabbing me by the scruff of the neck above my shirt. There's one where I'm punching, like pretending to punch him in the face, and one we have like our arms around each other and we're like, hey! So much fun. He also recorded us in his froggy voice I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, but I'm all out of something.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
So fun. Like, no, that's me. See, they says, oh, something. I forgot. Like, great guy. Great guy.
And he also, that was where he candidly told us about...
he hates Pig the Cat.
Well, he hates Pig the Cat, and he told us about how he got it where his friend worked for Sega.
His friend was the voice director and the original voice of Roots the Bat. She was the voice director for the first bunch of Sega games.
And she invited him, asked him if he would, do this role. And she told him, she was like, okay, it's a big dumb cat
and
named
it's called Pig.
Big. And he was like, so he probably has some voice like, Big the Cat. And she was like, that's perfect. And he was like, please, no, for the love of God.
But like John St. John being Big the Cat, it's one of those things where it's like when you figure out that Uncle Phil was Shredder, it's like mind blowing that like Duke Nukem is Big the Cat. It's like holy shit. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I think we ran into him again at too many games last year. He's a very charming guy. Mm-hmm. Very, very like I'd love to go to more of his stuff. I think before Quest 40 played, I think his band did was like the warm up act.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Jane, his wife.
Yeah, they were good.
They were really
so fun. Yeah. So they have this band playing first, and then they had that weird band to play second.
Well, that was like the video game rappers or something.
I think so. I don't remember. They did that cover of Ice Cap Zone. You don't remember that?
No, I remember. I think the terrible people I'm thinking of. They did Grotto Valley, and they got Johnny Giretti to come out and sing the melody to it. And I was like,
"Oh, that's right."
Like Johnny Giretti knows Zelda music. This is amazing. Whoa. It's like, that's good shit. But yeah, so that's our story.
Do you remember
what?
When June brought out his shadow guitar, and that giant crowd of people freaked out, and then they like piled around to take pictures of it.
No, I remember when before they did the encore, he came out, and Johnny Giretti was like, "This is one of my favorite songs," and I keep going, "Watch me fly! Watch me fly!" And he just kind of, for a split second, looked. He was like, no. I'm like, "Watch me fly!"
Gave you a look where he was just like, "Shut up, kid."
It's what I'm made of. Watch me fly!
Somebody get him out of here.
Security.
That was probably the best concert I've ever been to. The best, most iconic moment for me was when they were singing their singing "Open Your Heart," and then right after that they sang their cover of the opening from CD.
Oh, Sonic Boom.
Yeah, Sonic Boom. And both times you looked at me, and I just had tears streaming down my face. And I remember, John, you pointed at me and you were cracking up. And you like tapped Jonathan to like tell him that I was crying. And I remember Jonathan embraced me. He was just like, yeah.
So that's like when we saw the 2014 Ninja Turtles movie. There's the scene where Splinter gets kidnapped. No, Splinter gets like beaten and like left for dead, and the Turtles get kidnapped. And I think I looked over at Jono, and he had tears in his eyes. I turned over, you were like, "Look at this nerd," and you were like flat out crying.
No, it was the opposite.
Was it
the opposite. You were watching me to see if I was going to cry, and I was crying.
Whenever I see a movie, I always look to see if you cry.
You weren't looking at Jonathan, but you were like, dude. And Jonathan told me that when you were like, dude, he was also crying, and he was just like, "Shut up."
Ma,
we're good friends.
Yeah, so we're hoping to do those cons this year. We always have good stories when we go to cons.
Oh God, yeah.
That
was just one of them. We've been to so many.
We've been, because we're going to 2 more this year. I think at this point, so to go about the cons. So at this point, Rise of the Lyric 06 debate is up. I am currently working with a few more panels. I have the big Fiction Adventure 3 panel from Too Many Games, and the last from the outside looking in. Where was it? Was it comic books we did last? Was it comic books? Yeah.
Also, supposedly, what about the Johnny Giovanni panel?
Oh, that'll be going. That's done.
Okay.
That'll be going live at some point. I think in terms of SubasaCon, we're kind of done.
Okay.
Going there.
Yeah.
Because it's a long way to go. And this
Yeah.
this is no indictment of the fan base there. 'Cause I don't think they're that good to begin with. But we never get like a lot of strong feedback.
Yeah, that's true.
When it comes to those. So I think also at this point, like I'm not sure what else we could do for that format.
Mm-hmm.
Because like what we did comic books, video games, anime, like movies and TV shows.
Yeah,
but
it's okay. It is a financial hindrance for us, and it's just not,
it's not a great convention.
It's not.
If there were things to do there, like if there was more things to do, and if there was something where we could make a day of enjoying the convention and also doing, because like technically at this point, Too Many Games is a far greater financial burden, but we actually enjoy that convention. Like regardless of our friends being there, like we have, we enjoy the dealers booths, the games there, the panels there we go to. Like it's.
See, then I wouldn't qualify it as a burden, because the only thing that we get out of going to SubasaCon is doing a panel.
That's what I'm saying. So like, and it's at this point, I think after the 3 we've done, I can't think of another one I'd want to do in that style.
Yeah. Plus, no, the only people who know us there is that guy that has been to all 3 of our panels.
Which I should know his name, but I don't. But he joins us.
Sorry, dude.
Sorry, dude.
I don't think he watches us. I think he just knows us from going to this anime convention.
I think he watched us 2 years ago, and now we've ruined his life.
Yeah.
As we do most people. But yeah. So I think SubasaCon's done. I think what we've slightly talked about for next year, what we're thinking of is, I guess we like doing things in threes. So with 3, from the outside looking in, touch wood. This year we'll be able to have done our 3rd great debate.
Yep.
Then we're thinking of next year returning to MomoCon.
Which would be our 2nd MomoCon.
But hopefully our 1st year of doing a panel there.
Gotcha.
Because I think last time we just went. I know. Did Johnny have a panel at MomoCon?
Johnny didn't.
It was just Brain Scratch.
Yes.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was the first time I met them.
Apart from Johnny, yes. It was the first time I met everyone else. Because I met Johnny at Boom.
Gotcha. I still remember. So, for those of you who don't remember Vine, Gareth had a dumb Vine account, which I loved. And
every Vine was dumb. Every Vine account was dumb.
He had this Vine where it starts with his face, and he goes, "Hey guys, guess who I'm with?" And then it shows Johnny, and Johnny just goes, and he goes, "That's right, it's Ted." So I thought Johnny was Ted because of that dumb Vine.
Then years later, I did the reverse. It was Ted. I said, "That's right, it's Johnny." And for some reason, that was my most watched Vine of all time.
Yep.
Why?
I think my favorite Vine that you ever did was that one where you were in New York for Boom, and you went to Steven's room, and he walks up, and you just have the camera on him, and he's like, "What are you doing? Are you taking a picture?" It's a Dreamcast controller, and he goes, "And it's movies!" And he just went, "God damn it!"
That comes from at Boom 2014. We had a thing, Steven's thing, and that's back when he was bored. He got all 5 guests. It was Crush 40, Johnny and June, I forget the names, like Izuka, the creator of Metal Sonic, and Amy, and Aaron Weber. She had the 5 big guests to sign his head, and I got it on as we're filming. Weber filming Smoothy's head, so it starts with Aaron Weber. Goes, "Okay, so I'm here to sign something for a fan," and Steven just enters frame and screams, "And then Smoothies!" which is one of my favorite things ever. You started smoothies. To give a.
Do you mean teenage Chris Thornton?
You mean Chris Thornton in his 20s?
Oh, yeah.
He makes a living selling adult poetry. Chris Thornton would have been a fucking hipster.
Yeah.
But so to give a update for FTCR at this point, again, by the time you're listening to this, the Sonic Forces LP should have just started. If it just started or is about to start tomorrow, maybe depending on when I can get this online. Forces is starting soon. We have a few things planned. Again, the current, I think at the moment, our current model of one game a week is helping us a lot.
Yeah.
If we were still trying to do two, we would have all done out of footage. We're planning things. I will. This is the podcast, so if people want to listen to that, that's fine. But so I'll give you some things we're planning for in the not too distant future. Obviously, Shadow is coming along. I won't lie. I am. If that game is a chore to record, that game. So I almost have it ready. What I might do, I know it went up online on November 30th, which was the 10th year of when we launched the first website.
Mm-hmm.
What I might end up doing is getting that ready for the 11th anniversary of when our YouTube channel opened.
Okay.
Which I think is in May or June. So I'll have to work towards that. We have some other games in the works that we're going to try and finish recording soon. I'm working on the podcasts. Hotcast is technically online. I have to fix a few things because some of the iTunes localization didn't come out the way I expected it to, so I have to fix some things. And I'm working on getting things like Skype Sanctuary and Sonic Says obviously is a big one. Super Flower Hour, I'll do something with it, put it online. And Same Great Taste, we just recorded this earlier today. We just recorded the video for a Same Great Taste review of Ready Player One, which I'm going to try and get out within a week, if possible. We're going to try and do. My thing moving forward, I'm going to try and have at least one review video, whether it's a Same Great Taste or a Holy Matcha Movies or just a FTA.
I love that name.
I think I'm pretty good at coming up with names for things. I like
That's
them.
true.
Holy Matcha, or like something I've been thinking about for a while is a top bottom 5 for Sonic Forces. It's something I've had in my head for a while.
You want to do what?
A top bottom 5. It's like you haven't seen the video I did of Mania, where I say my top 5 things and my bottom 5 things.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing that for Forces, and so I'm gonna, and then we want to do think back Diminishing Returns. I put up a poll for the 10+ tiers because they get to pick things, and I think the winner of the next, I guess it's a winner, but winner loses. I guess Batman and Robin is the next movie we're going to do for Diminishing Returns. I'm going to try and get David T.
It was a good run.
I'm going to try and get David T. Lurker to join us for that. Because I think he'll have a lot to say about that one. So yeah, that's happening. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I also has Gaming Season 3. Either should have started already or was going to start this week. If you're on the Patreon tiers, all of those videos should be ready for you to watch now. If you're at the 5+ tier, you get to watch those. If you're at the 20+ tier, you get to join us for exclusive streams. I'm gonna try this at some point this week. I'll do another recording stream of Shadow where we all get together and have a laugh when I pain myself playing that game. I think at the moment that's all there is. We do have some questions, so we'll do those, and then I think we'll. God damn it, TJ, you fucking piece of shit. So we have some questions. Goldstorm 07 says 2 questions for you guys. Do you have any books you'd recommend?
Books like comics, or
I think he means actual books.
Do you have any?
One I go to because I don't find myself reading much fiction these days. I
prose.
I greatly prefer like behind the scenes stuff, like
Yeah.
how things are made. So one book that I greatly recommend, it's a book called Superman versus Hollywood.
You have recommended that.
I bought that
many
for
times.
Jack for Christmas. It's just a book about. It doesn't go up to Man of Steel. I think it's up to like Superman Returns. Might be the cutoff point. It's a fairly old book. I got it like 10 years ago. It's a fairly old book, but it goes into all the trouble and all the like behind the scenes drama that people have had trying to get Superman onto the big screen, and especially when you get to things like the original 70th Superman movie, shit gets like weird and illegal. It's a really interesting. I wish it delved more into like the Bruce Timm cartoons. Stuff they like mentioned slightly, but like it's mostly the big movies. But it's a thoroughly entertaining read. I would if you have any interest in Superman or the process of movie making, I highly recommend that book.
The last book that I read was probably, and I enjoyed it. I just never had the opportunity to finish. I mean, okay, that's a lie. I've had plenty of opportunities. I just haven't finished it. Patton Oswalt's book, Silver Screen Fiend.
Okay.
He essentially when he was like in his mid-20s, so it's kind of a coming of age for him where.
So is it a autobiography?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was under the impression that, so he was in his mid-20s. He didn't know what he wanted to do with his life. He was doing stand-up at the time, but he wasn't really he didn't have his heart into it. But he loved film, and he had it in his mind that if he saw like every great film ever made.
Excuse me.
If he saw every great film ever made, then he would be capable of producing a great film. And so it's kind of like it's part, just like his I wouldn't say review, but just like what he thinks of like these really old classic films and stuff. And also like his life experience at his mid-20s where he's just like, I have no idea what I want to do with my life, but at this point I am crazy obsessive with watching all these movies and it's affecting my life both professionally and personally. So it was really good.
He also has another question which I think might says, which LP was the most entertaining to record? Edit heavy LPs like 06 and Secret Rings are a joy for me as a viewer, but a great deal of work for you guys, so I was curious. So when you say record, I mean, I'm not sure if by record you just mean when you do the commentary or if you mean the whole thing. I mean, in terms of doing like the commentary, sometimes the meme heavy ones are fun because there's things you don't expect to happen. So obviously 06 was a lot of fun to record. I mean, I still think my favorite LPs we recorded for me were probably 06, Pocket Adventure, and DuckTales Remastered. Those are probably still some of my favorite LPs in terms of like recording this stuff. Maybe DuckTales. I had fun playing DuckTales because that's just a fun game. So probably DuckTales Remastered is my most fun LP from like starting to completion, doing everything. It's probably the most fun I've had editing something. In terms of like the Mega Man games. Mega Man 2 was a chore to edit. I won't lie. Like when I get down to 4, 5, 6, they will not be meme head. They will not be meme heavy LPs.
My favorites are usually when something just hits right and we just go off on this big tangent that has nothing to do with the game, but that we can extract like every nugget of comedy from it. Those are my favorites. Just like the weirdest things.
Like what? Give an example.
Okay, well actually one of my favorites is probably Spyro 2. When I was doing Skeletor for all the cutscenes, because it's okay. It's not those weird moments, but usually these come from the weird moments.
That's so
the moments where I break you are my favorite moments recording. Like those where we have to stop because you are just a broken human being.
I think the first time that happened was we were doing Crash 3. And on like one of the last levels, and you did that weird voice. You're like I kept on just abusing the Wumpa launcher,
Yeah.
And you were like, quit gimping yourself with incorrect weaponry.
Yeah,
And I had to pause the game, man. I was like, fuck. Like,
I did.
quit gimping yourself.
So with incorrect weaponry.
Yeah, the Skeletor stuff, just like that was just like, I'm Reptile now.
I've said my piece. This is mine now. I mean, you can have it.
We keep meaning to do like what are they called? We just do a video where it's just those scenes together.
Yeah, compilation.
Yeah, at some point we'll do one of those. But yeah, I think a lot of them. There's very few LPs that we've done that I'm like after I'm just like that. I didn't have any fun. I don't think there's a single LP I've done where I'm like that wasn't fun at all. There's obviously some go better than others. I think sometimes it's dependent on who you have.
Speaking of which, I love how after we recorded Spyro, you were like,
Which one? The first one?
The first one. You were just like, I don't know, man. I don't think that was very good. We went on that weird tangent about the Mothman for
no, that was Spyro 2, the Mothman.
No, that was 1.
You sure?
Yeah, because it was interlaced with Welcome to Treetops.
Well, I think I remember when the last, because we recorded Spyro 1, I think in either 2 or I think it was 3 like
chunks.
Yeah. That last chunk, I felt is just like
so far off the rails.
Because I think the problem was like we didn't anticipate like the bonus world to take us so long, and so I think there's a point where we just, I mean, I know we do it sometimes, but like we were just referencing memes for so long.
Yes.
And I was like, this is fucking terrible. I mean, like, what about this? Like this chunk of commentary just proves all of our biggest criticisms like accurate.
And then it ended up working.
A lot of people think Spyro 1 is one of our best LPs, which is to me doesn't. I thought that was Spyro 2. We did the Mothman in.
No.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I remember. I very distinctively remember it being interlaced with Welcome to Treetops.
So we have 2 more questions. So, Patreon member AE Double says, "Dear Misters and Mrs. FTCR, being mostly a video game centric channel that especially focuses on Sonic and similar media, what's your favorite fruit?" Grapes. Just like Knuckles, my boy Knuckles.
Watermelon.
Oh yeah.
No, strawberries.
I can't have those no more.
Oh no.
No.
Strawberries and chicken.
It's a story for another day.
Oh man, I can't make you my favorite strawberry glazed chicken.
That's delicious. Another one from, I'm not sure if you want us to read out your whole name, so we'll just say Manuel. It says, "Dear FTCR, if Sonic Colors is too political, then what is the second most political Sonic game? Also, have you heard or played Epic Mickey?" We'll tackle that in 2 parts. The first one, that's the second most political Sonic game. Gonna have to be Sonic Forces. Yeah, just that is.
Look, Eggman's just trying to do the best he can for the planet, and then you got these young Sonic no good nicks who are going around and they're pushing people around and they're all just a bunch of bad guys. And
it's crazy how the people who legitimately say Sonic Colors is too political think Forces is great. It's like, you fucking blind. Like, Jesus Christ. And the other part, have you played yeah, I played Epic Mickey at the first one.
Nope.
I followed it. You must have heard of it though.
Nope.
Really?
I'm just kidding. Yes.
I followed it. I thought it's one of those things where, like, if they had been able to make the original idea, I think it could have been fun.
What was the original idea?
Well, there was more to it. Like, there was supposed to be like a morality meter, and depending on what you do, Mickey would change.
Huh.
So it's supposed to be if you were around doing evil things, Mickey would start to mutate into this creature called the Scrapper. He looked more like evil Mickey in Runaway Brain. But I guess Disney was like, could you not do that? Like, character maybe? But also, like, I knew what happened. The prospect of, like, you can destroy or create anything, and it's like, not really. You can just when the game was like, there's a staircase over there, maybe you can destroy that, or maybe you can make it. Like, it was.
See how it's outlined? You could destroy it. Or you could use it.
I played it. A buddy of mine had it, and I remember playing it. I got bored after like 20 minutes. Like, this game is fucking boring. So I didn't get too far into it, but I didn't much care for it. But yeah, so I think that's everything. We've gone on for about almost an hour. So yeah, this was the first episode of
Turkey Dazzle
Yes Friend, which again that Turkey Dazzle Yes Friend is a name for something I've wanted to do for a while.
I have to be honest, ever since you brought up the idea to me, I've been wanting to do this. Where you and I just shit talk for an hour.
Shit talk for an hour, yeah. Originally this was...
Well, not shit talk, shoot the shit for an hour.
Originally this was just going to be a normal podcast, but we couldn't find the time to do it. And I was like, Patreon, then we kind of have to, otherwise they'll murder us. So yeah, I think, I think it kind of goes without saying, but Turkey Dazzle Yes Friend is the off-brand version of Chicken Hopper Dear Buddy.
Yeah. Just
in case people didn't get it. Just in case, because Chris doesn't get it. To this day, like, I don't get it. What's that reference to? How do you say that?
Cha?
Okay,
yes,
one more.
Yes, friend.
One more story before we peace out. So, MomoCon 2015.
Yeah, some people may not have heard this. We've referenced it multiple times.
I think we've said it in a few things, but one more time. Stephen makes us these T-shirts that have FT Show on the front. I think you've seen them because we wear them because we're this horse. We've seen them wear them a lot. And on the back it says Chicken Hoppage Chair Buddy. And after MomoCon, I think it's on the Saturday, and we went into a Hooters to get some chicken. And okay, two things about this story. One, on the way down there, these girls pass us and say, "What are you supposed to be?" And MBM just screams, "We're internet celebrities!"
That was, oh my god!
I love that boy.
That was,
and so we're in the chicken place, and there was just like two elderly women sitting behind us. And towards the end of the meal, one of them comes up to us and says, "Excuse me, can we ask you what's on your shirt?" And everyone at the table is expecting them to ask, like, what is hoppage, or like, how do you say that word? But instead they go, is it cha? Is it chair? How do you say that word? And I thought I was like, you fucking stupid.
What? How? That's the easiest one.
Look, chicken is the easiest one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that happened to us twice. We were walking back to the hotel, a different set of girls asks, but again.
Oh, it was the same. The women at the restaurant, and then the drunk girls happened because the drunk girls saw the logos on the front of the T-shirts, and they said, "What are you guys supposed to be?" And MBM turned around and said, "We're internet celebrities." And then they turned around and they saw the backs of the shirts, and we heard the girl go, "Cha cha," and we were just like, "What?"
I think we tried to film them asking us because we thought it was so funny, but didn't happen. So yeah, so hopefully we'll be back next week. Again, if you have any questions for the next one, all future episodes are going to be just on Patreon. So if you've enjoyed this podcast and would like to have it more weekly up to date, where I think what we might just do is just tell stories and say what we've been doing, and then if we have exclusive FTCR stuff, we'll talk about it. But yeah, so if you'd like to follow this podcast, please just go to patreon.com/FTCR. And if you donate, if you're at the $5 or more or higher tier, you will get access to this every week.
Yeah.
So, so thanks for joining us. I've been FTA.
I've been T-Bay.
And see you next week for more Turkey Dazzle Yes Friend. Or don't. But please do. Give us money. So actually do. Boop.
Prove you're smarter than a robot. Subscribe and leave a 5-star review for this and other FTCR shows on Apple Podcasts. You boob!